Let's try this again. Hey everybody, Flosstube. It is Emily C. Eclectic Possessions. It is February the 23rd. I'm here in my dining room. I already filmed about 10 minutes worth and then deleted it off my phone because I hit the wrong button. It's fine. It's fine. I was rambling anyway. So let's summarize. I'm sorry, my ear is itchy. Let's summarize what I said before. Number one, I already posted one video today, and that was where I gave away this chart. I've already gotten in touch with the winner, which is Debbie Brandenberger, and she's bought things from me on my group before, and she comments fairly regularly, so I always enjoy it being someone who I'm familiar with. And that doesn't mean it has to be a floss tuber. Debbie is not a floss tuber. In fact, I almost prefer to give things away to non-floss tubers. Anyway, so she's getting this, getting it out in the mail to her next week, and that easily transitions us into showing you my framed 3 Things sampler. In a bright yellow shirt today. I love this shirt though, and I don't generally like really bright colors. I love this flannel. This is my 3 Things sampler. Those of you who have been watching for a bit now, you know that this is a sampler that I started before we even had this house on our radar. Pretty quickly after I started it though, this house came to my attention. We came and looked at it, put in an offer. I basically worked on this, and this became my new house piece. From the time that we put in an offer and saw the house and went through the inspections and closed and all of that and moved in, I finished it here in this house. But this is 36 count, picture this plus ale. It is an assortment of threads where I converted the colors to more Emily colors myself. It is gassed, Victorian motto, and coloring cotton. Had a lady ask me this morning for if I would be willing to share the conversion. The answer is yes and no. Yes, I will tell you what threads I used. No, I can't share the conversion because it's not a direct conversion. Like, the color that is called for this tree may have been what was actually called for also for this tree. But I stitched them in different shades. I don't know that that's the case, but I'm just saying it's not a direct symbol to thread conversion. I pretty much just pulled this group of threads, kept them with this project, and as I came across a motif, I used what I felt was appropriate. I felt like all these birds need to be brown, so they all ended up brown. And you know, that's just what I did. So I have a picture showing all the threads that I used. I'm more than happy to share that, but you would have to kind of do what I do, even if it was zooming in on a picture of my sampler and being like, that looks like this color. But anyway, I digress. This is my framed piece. I'll get back where you can see the entire thing. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It hangs on the wall that is directly across from me, right there, which basically, that's our front door. That's the wall directly across from me. I'm in the dining room. The way our house is laid out, the bottom floor, it's like a spoken wheel. It's not a round house, but the center of it is the coat closet and the half bath and the laundry. And there are no doors, and you can just walk all the way around that. So there's the dining room, the kitchen, the little breakfast nook area, and the big living room and sun porch, and then right there is the stairs that go upstairs. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all this. You probably don't care. But my point is, I made sure that this had a place in our home where we would get to see it a lot, or I would get to see it a lot. Jim, I mean, he likes it, but I think I could cover the walls in cat photos, and it would take him about a month to really notice. The other finish that I have is one I actually finished some time ago, but I just now got around to getting framed. I love this piece. I know you guys love this piece. I actually argued with the framer about this frame. He thought that it melded into the fabric too much. I love it. I have a big problem with framers giving me their opinion in the first place. I understand that they're framing experts, but this is also going in my home, so if I tell you this frame is my favorite, by God, that's the frame you're going to frame it in. And that's just how I feel about that. Anyway, this is a very, very hard to find kit. I apologize if I make anyone fall in love with it by showing it, because the only place that I have seen it is on a site where you order directly from Hong Kong, and it's quite expensive for the kit, and then the shipping is the same amount as that, so I'm sorry. Maybe find someone who's willing to give up their copy. Mine is long gone, so don't ask me for it. You know, that actually brings me to, I'm going to let you guys look at this while I talk about what Michelle Bendy talked about in one of her recent videos. She got very, very frank and direct, especially from Michelle, where she basically said, stop asking us for stuff. And she even mentioned that she had talked to me about it, and it's true. And I'm going to see if I can break down a little so that you guys can understand why we're like, stop asking us for stuff. Number one, you guys know I love to give stuff away. This is the second chart I've given away this year. If I finish it, I'm probably going to give it away unless it's already spoken for. And I hesitate to actually say this here, but I'm pretty generous when I give away charts too. I don't just give away the chart typically. It usually comes with some extras that I don't tell anybody about, and no one knows until it shows up at their house. Think of it this way. Let's pretend that I'm having a yard sale. If I'm having a yard sale, it is more than okay for you to come to my house and go through all my stuff and ask to buy things, or ask if I would be willing to throw something in for free. It's not okay if I'm not having a yard sale to come to my house and do that. Does that make a little bit more sense? Like, you wouldn't just go to a stranger's house and knock on their door and say, can I have that? Well, you don't do that. And maybe I'm looking at it wrong, and I probably wouldn't care if it happens like once every few months, but it happens a lot. And it can be frustrating. Because if I'm going to give something away, trust me, I'll give it away in a heartbeat, and I'll give you some more stuff with it. Anyway, I'm going to get off my high horse. Romantic Mademoiselle by RTO. The chart is long gone. Maybe you can get one from Hong Kong. The distributor is Russian. The chart actually is in Russian. So maybe you can find it. Maybe you can't. I don't know. I told McKenna maybe she could find some copies of the kit to sell in her store, but I'm not even sure she's going to be able to do that. So it's on my mantle. It's going to go back up there once I'm done. Off my soapbox blue cream soda break. I have a basket here of goodies that we're going to go through. I've been doing Flosstube since 2015, late in the year, and it just now dawned on me, even though I've seen lots of other people do it, that I should keep a basket or a bag or something that I fill with things like, oh, I worked on this chart this month, I worked on this month, I got this in. These are all things I'm going to want to show. I just started that last month. I've been doing this about 4 years. So, with no further delay and in no particular order, let's just dive in. let's show this first. I think I got a good bit more done on, this is His Eyes on the Sparrow. I'm sure everybody's familiar with this. A lot of people are doing it. I'm doing it in the called for threads. His Eyes on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. Although I'm doing mine, it's called for is actually, believe it or not, it's a 28 count, 1 thread over 2. So it's meant to look really primitive. Really primitive isn't my style. Love the chart though. So I'm doing mine on 36 count, 2 over 2. So if my colors look more vivid, that's the only reason why. And I'm also doing mine on a different material. This is 36 count, picture this plus Velt. So this is my fat half that I'm using. And that's what I have done so far. And since the last time I showed it, I have gotten some more motifs put in, and you can tell that my verse is going to be different than the verse that's on there. You guys also know that I'm not a religious person. So the verse that's on here, which is actually where the name of this piece comes from, it says, His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. That's a fairly religious verse. The he in it being God. So I told Jim that I was in love with this piece and I was going to put a different verse in it. And I said, well, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I could do some research, but are there any quotes or verses or anything that you're absolutely in love with that you would like for me to put in a piece one day? And he said, yeah, now that you mention it, there's actually a Nietzsche quote, and if I'm mangling that, don't tell me. I probably am. Friedrich Nietzsche is a philosopher. And he said there is a quote by him that I've always loved. And he said it's something along the lines of, and the quote is like, what do I have here? Whatever is done for love always occurs beyond good and evil. Well, I charted it out, and what's going to fit here is whatever is done for love occurs beyond good and evil. I took out the always, and that makes it fit fairly perfectly. So if anyone else is interested in stitching that instead of the religious quote that's in here, I would definitely be willing to share that. I have it charted out on PC Stitch, so I have that as a digital file. And it's obviously not all the motifs and stuff, it's just the words. So this will say, whatever is done for love occurs beyond good and evil. Which I really love, and I love the fact that it is one that means something to Jim and that he picked it. This piece is one that I said was going to be a part of my Stitch 9 and that I was going to finish it this year. I would love to finish this, and I'm still going to try. But as we are now knocking on March and I'm seeing realistically what I'm getting done, I knew I was overzealous in my choices, but now I'm seeing how overzealous I was in my choices. We'll see what I get done. Okay, we're going to put these, sorry about that, in this chair once I pull them out of the basket. Next, we'll do this one. This is Love Never Fails by Barbara Anna. Oh, and I got a Valentine's Day card from Donna Ray. And she said that she saw this and she just knew that it had to be mine. So I have it on this project, Donna Ray. It's a focus. It's a haunted house zipper pull. I love it. She's so sweet. But this is, trying to find a picture in case there's someone who doesn't know what this looks like. Here we go. Barbara Anna Designs, Love Never Fails. It's so pretty. Janet, a local Georgia stitcher, finished this, and hers is just gorgeous. This month I worked on the woman in the dress. That's pretty much all I got done. But considering that I really didn't have anything done on her dress except for the sleeves and maybe a small piece of the bodice, I got a lot done. So I pretty much finished her dress. Getting closer so you guys can see. I think that that turned out well. Doing this on a 32 count Dark Misty Rain by Die Stitch Love. She doesn't die anymore. But it's similar to Cauldron, I would say. The Cauldron is probably more orange than this rose color. Maybe some of the other dyers have something similar. But this is another one of my Stitch 9. Hoping to get this done this year, get it framed and up in the house. Moving on, let's show a new start. In my last video, I said I was going to start this, and I showed you the fabric. This is Carriage House Samplings, Houses of Hawthorne Hollow. I'm doing this on a gorgeous piece of linen that Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics dyed for me. This is Christmas at Williamsburg. And I've almost finished block 1. That house is solid stitching, guys. It's got threads from my bag on it. Did that last time, it freaked me out. I thought thread stitches were coming loose. So this is what this looks like right now. I pretty much just have to bring the border around, and this block will be as done as it's going to be to the end, because this blank space right here is where you put in the year and the year, and I'm going to fill that in with the year that I complete this. So finishing block 1 will actually be probably the last thing that I do, because I'll come back and put that in. This is one where I'm keeping up with as I go how I am changing the DMC conversion on the actual piece. So it's one that once I'm done with this, I would be willing to share, but I'm going to change it block by block. And I'm trying to go mostly with what's called for, but some do need to be changed. Like that grass is a different color than is called for. The door is a different color than is called for, just because I didn't feel like the actual conversion was a very good one. And sometimes it's not when someone tries to convert from NPI to DMC. Anyway. This is a beautiful, like, autumnal burnt orange fabric. And it might be showing up. In fact, I know it's showing up a little brighter on the screen than it is in real life. It's got a little bit of a glow to it on the screen. It's darker. It reminds me of a richer, what is that beautiful Lakeside Linens? Vintage Autumn Gold, maybe? It's a little brighter and richer than that. Speaking of which, Lakeside Linens, I know that there's an issue getting those right now. One of the pieces, and I'll show you in a minute, that I was thinking about starting, I'll just show you now. So I've showed this before. This is GGR, the Red Deer sampler. I really want this to be my only start during Mania. I plan on having a monogamous Mania and working completely on His Eyes on the Sparrow that entire month. And at the end of the month, I'm going to allow myself a new start for high tea, and it's going to be my Red Deer sampler. I have all the threads for it. Jim gave them to me for Christmas. This calls for a Wheat Dye Works fabric, the Confederate Gray. I'm not a big fan of Wheat Dye Works fabric. Some people love it. For the way that I stitch and my tension, the weave is a little loose. I think I pull it too much. So I need a tighter weave for just the way that I stitch. And I think Lakeside is a tighter weave. And I've noticed that a lot of the people that like Picture This Plus fabric also like Lakeside, so I think I would like it. Now's the wrong time to be deciding I want to try Lakeside linens because I thought that vintage cedar plank would be a good fabric for this because it's a gray, like an old gray. I found one shop online selling a fat half for $86. Lakeside linens is usually more expensive than some of the hand-dyed. I don't know why. Maybe it's a higher quality linen. I don't claim to know why it's higher. I assume it's because it's nicer. Isn't it funny how we assume that? We assume that because something is priced higher that it's better quality. It probably is. I don't know. So I've been looking for a piece for a fat half of 36 count vintage cedar plank and sold out on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. A lot of places I can't find it. I'm afraid that some of the stores I'm finding it online would order it, and then who knows when I would get it because they're going to wait forever to get it from Lakeside Linens. So maybe I don't have an LNS. If you have an LNS near you and the next time you go in you happen to notice that they have it, let a sister know and maybe I can call and get me a piece. That'd be nice. But $86? Mm-mm. Emily's a social worker. Emily can't afford $86. What I may end up doing if I can't find a piece is I have a sampler I started a long time ago that I'm not in love with, and I may pick those stitches out and try to dye a mottled gray piece myself. That would be the more frugal thing to do. That's what I should do, but I also really want to try that vintage cedar plank. We'll see, because I think this would be really pretty on a mottled gray piece of fabric. I think it would be amazing. We'll see. What else we got? Let's pull out this behemoth. I got some more work done on Mermaid's Folly. I won't show you the picture. I showed it last time. I'll just show you what I got done. This is a 36 count Picture This Plus dill. And I'm now moved on to column 5. And it's going to take up the space that I have on this side is how much I'm going to have left on this side. So I'm barely over halfway. I'm hoping you can hear me through this fabric. I've got, I don't know what I was thinking. I said this last time. Why are my top and bottom margins so huge? Why did I not put this up towards the top or the bottom? I don't know. Because early 2016 Emily had no regard for waist. I don't know. It was stupid. It was stupid of me. Uninformed. Naive. Whatever you want to call it. I kick myself. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of fabric. Okay, I'm done. I'm getting there. I have it calculated. If I keep working on this at the pace that I'm working on it, I should be done just prior to or during Dark October stitching. That means I won't give this any love in May because I'm not going to work on it for Mania. But every other month I'm going to give it at least a week or two and I'll finish it up by then. I had slated off all of Dark October to work on this and finish it if needed. But it's looking like I would be able to finish it and be able to work on something else. So it's pretty exciting. I love this piece. It's probably going to go in this room somewhere. So I just feel like it's very, I don't know, I like the idea of a half-naked woman and a demon and an old man-ish dragon thing. watching us eat dinner. Maybe I'm a weirdo. I also just bought this on eBay because I'm wanting to put a foyer, like little tiny foyer table over there when I find the right one that's not ridiculously expensive, which means I'm checking out thrift and antique stores and home goods. So I want a little entrance table over there, and I really want to put this on it, which is an embossed picture. It says on the bottom, Elpex made in England. I gave like nothing for this, but I just loved it. I thought it was really beautiful. I gave $8 for it with free shipping, honestly. It's not in the best shape, but I actually love that. So I love the idea of this sitting on my entrance table filled with pheasant feathers. I don't know why. I feel like that would be absolutely beautiful. A bouquet of feathers. That's my plan for that. Feathers are expensive, but you can get them in bulk on eBay for a whole lot cheaper. So, of course, that's what I'll end up doing. I'll figure out how long I need them, and you can buy a bulk of a certain length. I'm sure there are lots of people out there who are telling me that there's animal PETA inhumanely collected. I don't want to hear it. I'll ignore your comment. Hey, buddy. Oh, goodness. What's going on? Huh? Do you need to go look out the window? That leaves us to the new start that I started yesterday, which is in a bag that Diana made me. And bust her hair in my lip gloss. Jen from Quirks and Stitches, and if you're not watching her videos or watching her on Instagram, you should be, because she's one of my favorites. She has been since I started Instagram, and she hasn't been doing Flosstube very long. We finally talked her into it. She's just a really wonderful person, and she's a fantastic stitcher, and her mom is a fantastic stitcher. They did this really cool 24 hours cross-stitch-a-thon where the two of them cross-stitched for 24 hours straight. Go check it out. It's pretty great. She's younger than I am, and is her mother for that matter, because this chick, like, I'm ready to go to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And those of you who go to stitching retreats with me know that it's not that different then either. There's a certain point where I'm like, I'm going to bed. And everybody else stays up and parties, and this chick goes to bed. But she wanted to start Matter's Choice, Jen did, for her birthday. So we did. A bunch of us did. I had it. I had it in my stash already. And I know, buddy. Can I help you? Needy kitty, greedy kitty. So I pulled out a piece of fabric that I had in stash, and this thread is gassed Storm Clouds. I know you guys have heard me mention it before. It goes from these shades of greens to almost a slight teal, and there's like a gray brown. It's hard to describe. You just have to get one and see it in person and see how beautiful it is, because it's really great. It's subtle, but it's really beautiful. And here's my start so far. It's still on the Q-Snap. This is a silk weaver fabric called Mudstone that I picked up in one of their flash sales. Either that or I got it from the store, because it's the store in New Jersey. And you can see in the bird, or both the birds, and the bee, the variation in this thread. It's so pretty. Can you hear me over the purring? He's behind the camera now. Now we're about to go into haul. I think now's a good time to say too, thanks everybody for all of their kind words last time. I really was having a hard time. Anxiety and depression, and honestly it was more depression than anxiety. I don't know if it was the weather. I doubt it because I love glum, sad weather. Sorry, Diana. This weather right now is my jam. Buster. I'm sorry. I'm so glad it didn't turn off. And I'm so sorry for that loud noise. But with my inability to edit right now, it is what it is. I'm so sorry. He really thought the phone needed his love and affection. And in giving said phone his love and affection, it toppled. And I was depressed. It happens to the best of us. The holidays and the anniversary of my dad's passing, it was the 3-year anniversary, and it just hit me harder than I was, I think, willing to acknowledge. I don't know what he's doing. Buster, hey, Roomba, stop it. Don't eat dirt off the floor. So, it was, that's what it was. I used a lot of the advice that you guys gave me. I started getting out and exercising and going to the park more often and walking, and I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. So, I mean, you know, maybe even just talking to you guys about it helped, because not long after that video, I started feeling better. Use your friends, use your family. Go outside, take a walk. It made me feel better. So, thank you. On to haul. It's not a lot, I promise. It's very little. Quirks and Stitches just finished this piece. Go check hers out. Jen, this is your fault. I bought this. I don't know why I didn't have it already. It's a really inexpensive chart. And we all know how Blackbird Designs loves to retire charts. And that if we see something we like,